All right, the Hamburglar, this is going to be your nickname forever.
This was such an improbable, impossible story.
Stop by the Hamburglar.
Go to this peak and then fall down the other side of the mountain. This is from the newspaper back home when I was 8 or 9 years old. As I was an extra at the McDonald's commercial with Britney Spears and NSYNC. It's kind of funny because I think the highlight of the day for me even was that I got free McDonald's, whatever I wanted the whole day. So
you've been in their clutches for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe it was just meant to be. That was the first indication.
How do you tell the story of Andrew Hammand, a journeyman goaltender who ended up in the most improbable circumstance?
His name is synonymous with the Hamburglar Run.
Hamburglar?
The Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar.
It went from impossible to improbable to immortal,
Big stop there by the Hamburglar.
where he's the best goaltender in the world.
The Hamburglar with his 74th consecutive save.
Seeing a player come out of nowhere, get all that success, and then sort of disappear afterwards, it's almost poetic.
Andrew Hammand was a professed hockey nerd growing up in BC, a humble kid with a resume to match. He played in the BCHL, then moved to Bowling Green University.
It's like most kids in Canada, you grow up wanting to play in the NHL. As a 20-year-old playing in the BCHL, there's not many of those that go on to play in the NHL or pro hockey, really. My first year in college, I went 0-12-2. We didn't win a game when I was in net, but I always thought I was a better goalie than that.
He signed a free agent contract with the Senators organization, playing with AHL Binghamton. He was a pro hockey player, sure, but for a viral moment, he was more infamous than famous.
Imagine looking up at the Jumbotron and there's 19:39 left in the first period. He let in 3 goals.
And I said, I don't know if we should buy a house. This is going to be a lot of money. And I don't know if he's going to have a job next year.
I'm a big believer that adversity can kind of make or break you. It's how you respond.
Meanwhile, in Ottawa, the Senators were floundering.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
The Senators' season, frankly, had been a disaster.
The mood's dark in the room.
Paul McLean had been fired. Dave Cameron was brought in, become the head coach.
Guys get moody, you're not as excited to get to the rink.
And being 14 points out of the playoffs at that point, this was going to be another lost season.
So midway through February, Clark MacArthur, one of our vets, had a big collision with Robin Lehner.
And Lehner is hurt.
Craig Anderson, our starter, wasn't even playing. He was hurt at the time. So, you're sitting on the bench and you're thinking like, oh God, this isn't good.
I see Robin go down. I know Craig's out for another few weeks. Holy cow, I'm the guy now.
Andrew Hammand comes in, try and stop the bleeding.
Hammond went in and mopped up that game, gave up 2 goals in 21 minutes, and now he's got to start against the Montreal Canadiens in the next game.
Punch already in, shoot, stop by Hammand.
I really did think it was kind of like a one-time thing.
When you get your chance, why not you?
If that would have been the only time I ever played in the NHL, I made it, I did it, I was content.
His first NHL start is his first NHL win.
And then they went to California. He had shutouts in the first 2 games in California.
Andrew Hammand, a remarkable performance.
And then it just continued, and it kept going.
And the sensational run for Andrew Hammand continues.
That's when you kind of got the sense that maybe something special is happening here.
And Hamburglar with another remarkable stop.
When we got back to Ottawa, it felt like my life had changed a little bit.
This is the moment Hammond's college nickname followed him north.
All right, the Hamburglar, this is going to be your nickname forever.
I think Hamburglar mania is starting to happen in the city.
Robble, robble.
Looks like we've been hamburgled.
And it was Hamburglar this, Hamburglar that.
Robble.
And I would introduce myself to people. It was easier to say I'm the Hamburglar's wife instead of saying I'm Andrew Hammond's wife, because I don't know that people knew his name immediately.
Stop by the Hamburglar, who's done it again.
as the Hamburglar run took on momentum, it became a tradition for fans to be throwing hamburgers on the ice.
Man, oh man.
Curtis Lazar scoops one of the burgers up as he's going off the ice, unwraps it, and takes a bite.
What the hell is this guy doing? But people loved it.
Been playing hockey in the 70s and 80s. I've seen lots of stuff thrown on the ice, but certainly not a hamburger, and certainly not a player picking it up and taking a bite out of it.
Andrew actually really did lean into the Hamburglar thing. After a late game, he would say, I just feel like I have to have McDonald's. I feel like it's good luck.
If anything, I guess I was feeding into the character that probably wasn't really who I was before then. It wasn't something that I would normally go out searching for prior to. Can I do 3 double cheeseburgers with fries? I guess even I got caught up in a little bit, I think. Thank you very much.
Rumor has it you've been given a lifetime supply of McDonald's.
At this point, it's still kind of a rumor. What's this? They gave me a McDonald's gold card in a frame with a picture of me holding up the hamburger, and I've never taken that card out of the frame. I don't know if it is or isn't.
Hammond's fast food run kept going through March.
Hammond! Glove stop! Burglary off Jordan Stahl!
He ultimately would post a 21-2 record, lifting Ottawa to the brink of the postseason.
So as the wins pile up, what were the emotions?
I found the magic potion. I'm the first goalie to crack the code.
You're just wondering how long this is going to last for. Is this sustainable?
The remarkable run still has some legs left.
Now you're understanding that playoff goal is in reach.
Top 8, they have passed the Boston Bruins.
And they needed to win that last game in Philadelphia to get into the playoffs. When Mark Stone got the clinching goal, I can just remember the energy matched the energy of any other positive moment in Senators history.
The clock never struck midnight, and the Cinderella Sins are headed to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
What a buzz here at the Bell Center. The Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa Senators take the ice. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
We dropped those 2 first games with Hammer and net.
Scores! Alex Stell,
Is Andrew Hammond your goalie tomorrow?
I haven't made up my mind yet. It was a tough decision just simply because you feel loyalty. If your other goaltender was someone who probably didn't have the status of a Craig Anderson, you probably would have went a little longer with Andrew.
After game 2, you don't see the net. How did that feel?
Dale Weiss with a dagger.
So what have you done for me lately, Leak? I learned a lot more about that later in my career, but that is the truth.
So the clock finally strikes midnight on a spectacular run by the Ottawa Senators. This is a great salute.
Hammond signed a 3-year contract, but was never quite the same. He was a journeyman who would crisscross 3 leagues in search of the next save.
Colorado, Minnesota, Buffalo, then back to Minnesota, Montreal, New Jersey. Am I forgetting any? Okay.
What were you searching for?
I don't think I was searching for anything other than an opportunity to play. I didn't think I played that bad, but I think people thought I played really bad. You go to this high and this peak, and then you fall down the other side of the mountain. Hey, Cal, you gonna start getting ready for soccer, buddy?
Now at 37, Hammond is the friendly fellow in the next house in his Detroit suburb.
Here, come on. Soccer time.
He works in medical supply sales. He's a soccer dad. And except for a hockey feeding frenzy a decade ago, he could be every man.
You're a suburban dad.
Suburban dad. It's not the first thing that I think of, but it's reality.
I have people that we meet now, they'll look him up and they'll say, I never knew he played in the NHL. He never said anything.
What do people call dad?
The Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar. I don't know how you really introduce it into conversation. Like, people would cheer his name and throw burgers on the ice. He's the Hamburglar. It's just odd.
For 6 weeks or more, you were the best goaltender in the world.
I don't think I've ever said it about myself, but statistically, that's true. It's something that in my wildest dreams I never thought would have happened.
I covered the Ottawa Senators from day one, and I don't know if there was a run that was as feel-good and as fun and as memorable for Senators fans than the Hamburglar run. That's Andrew Hammond's legacy in Ottawa.